When we're doing well and succeeding, it seems like positive reinforcement helps us keep that momentum. But when we fail, it seems like our ego gets bruised, and then we have this natural tendency to either tune out and or quit. I'm curious, how can we reframe negative feedback to use it as an effective means for making progress?
Negative feedback is hard to learn from. There is a reason why everybody tells us to learn from negative feedback, and the reason is that we are not very good at it. Okay, and so the negative feedback is hard to learn from because it hurts us emotionally, and because it's just cognitively harder. Okay, if you learn what's not, then by a process of elimination, you need to say, well, if that didn't work, then there is another way of doing that, and that's not easy. Okay, there is a reason why if you ever train a pet, they say to only use positive reinforcement, because now when you punish your dog, the dog understands that what they did is wrong. They just have no clue what is the right behavior. Okay, doing this cognitive switch from if this is not true, then there's something else that is true. That's not easy. So learning from failure is hard. It's not impossible. Okay, one way you can improve your chances is by recalling your commitment or your expertise. Giving advice to another person often forces people to think about what they have learned. Adopting a growth mindset, thinking about how you grow from failures, keeping distance, okay, a third-party perspective. This is Ethan Kross's work on referring to yourself by your name. Okay, so asking myself, Ayelet, what went wrong? Ayelet, why did you mess it up? That helps keep a healthy distance and allow you to learn from failure. But it's not easy. It's much easier to learn from successes.
So when you mentioned growth mindset, and I know Carol Dweck was one of the people that had endorsed your book, who wrote Growth Mindset. I'm curious as to the mindset towards negative feedback. I know the two you describe as either low commitment or lack of progress, and the mindset that we essentially have on our negative feedback really is the differentiator between whether we're seeing it as a lack of progress or a failure as a motivation to work harder.
Exactly. And Carol's work is really fundamental here. Carol Dweck was looking at education. And what she found over the years is that when students get bad feedback, bad grades, okay, or negative feedback, they can either take it as a sign that they are a failure, okay, that this is not for them, that I guess I'm not a math person, whatever that means, okay, it probably doesn't mean anything. Or they can take it as a sign that there is a place to grow here, okay, that there is something to learn. And if you teach students to have a growth mindset, if you teach anybody to adopt a growth mindset, then they are actually better able to learn from failure. And this is really something that is more intuitive for those of us who are highly committed, who feels like experts. If something doesn't work, then you might be even intrigued, like how come that didn't work? Like what went wrong here? Let me understand that. For novices, for people that are less committed, it is harder, and you really need to train them or train yourself to think in terms of growth mindset.
So it's interesting. Like the more committed you are, the less likely you are to be undermined by negative feedback. But the factor that really plays a role in commitment really to come back to the setting of the goals, right? Ensuring that you have the right goals that are goals that you would actually be committed to.
Yes. So yeah, absolutely. But by the way, for any goal, even if you set the right goal, the more you do it, the more committed you are. Like it takes some time. Allow yourself to engage before you would experience the commitment.